take number 2 on All right, it's doing better. So hopefully this will do better. So I'm doing this in my kitchen, this live stream. All right, let's see if it's going to do it one more time. If so, then I'm just going to have to do it on my phone. So like I said, I'm sitting in my kitchen back from my trip for Oklahoma City. The cost of living is so cheap. And I'm going, I'm going to call my cousin now. I want to go back around Thanksgiving so my son can meet his cousins, and he even loved it. It's just awesome. The people are beautiful. You know, it's nothing to subscribe. I met some interesting characters while I was there. Hold on, I got to reserve. Let me see. Um, so getting back to what I'm saying, we on the brink of World War III when we look at this Israeli and Iran conflict. And if the United States assists Israel, which I believe that Trump will, he gave a 2 week deadline. Iran said they not bowing, they not bowing or anything like that. And then Iran has the backing of Russia. And of course, then here comes China. And in Revelations, it said Gog and Magog will march against Jerusalem. This definitely gonna put America in there, but the war has to happen before Yahweh returns. His son Yeshua returns. So, and then I just want to get back into what Dr. Umar Johnson said. I cannot say for sure, but the Israeli-Iran conflict may, because they are running out of time and their time is short. Just the event that the global elite needs to trigger World War III in order to create the chaos necessary to implement the new world order. That means ain't no more borders, one world, um, it'd be a one world dictatorship, one currency, one religion, and a total dictatorship. And then the Antichrist will appear. So it goes on to say, if America is drawn into the war and China follows suit, this can lead to attacks on American soil and the disruption of life as we know it. The FBI already released a report that we got sleeper cells here. They we already captured Chinese nationals bringing in the pathogen of this new COVID strand that's about to hit. Now, we have Russians that was aboard. They get them Chinese nationals back. They wasn't begging for assistance. They wasn't begging. Where they go? Where did Chinese nationals go? They wasn't begging. We already know you ain't seen the only people that you seen was the poor people from Africa and Venezuela and the other Latin countries begging for assistance. The other folks that came, the Arabs that came here from Yemen and who who happened to travel here, you ain't see none of them begging for nothing where they at. And so you can best believe that if it go down, it's definitely gonna happen on U.S. soil as well. I however, believe that Iran has the backing of Russia, and then here comes China. This is scripture. We in some perilous times. So he goes on to say, the American African people must start having disaster preparation meetings. Be prepared. Do you have enough food and water? If this thing go down, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna meet up at? And I realized I got to be nice to the migrants. Now they may not speak English, but they know how to build a hut. They know how to survive. Make sure your sons have their passport. Oh dang, my son ain't got his passport. So they leave the country if Congress implements the draft. And they gonna do that too. Lord, my son will be just 22. Jesus Christ. But he got the ID. He still can get up out of here. So there hasn't been one since 1973. Hold on, I think this is my cousin. Hello?
Can I speak to Regina, please?
Who's calling?
Your cousin.
I thought so. You okay?
It's Cindy.
Phone. Let me
Oh
see.
my goodness.
Let me see. How can I mute? Oh yeah, I can mute. Okay. Let me mute. How you
Uh-huh. I got it here on the 18th. I'll be leaving Monday evening.
Monday evening? I had to mute the mic. My cousin, she here from out of town. I'm glad to see that I got to go see my cousin.
Okay.
Oh, I'm back live. I thought you hung up.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye bye. So get your sons their passports in case they implement the draft. That is something very important. Lord, have mercy. Mm-mm. I did not even think about that. Start stocking your emergency food and water supplies now. I've been stocking since 2021. I'm not stocked the way I usually am, but we'll be okay. But a lot of y'all won't. We in really some perilous times here. But then I thought about it before the live. I deleted messed up. Let's see what scripture is saying. There is no doubt that World War will be part of the future. Yahweh is sure plain that there will be a world war prior to his return. Some hope that he spoke generally first. This is in Matthew. Matthew 4 to 14. He talked about the church and he spoke about the tribulation, Matthew 24, 15 to 31. Others believe that Christ spoke of only a 7-year period known as the tribulation, verses 4 through 31. Though verses 4 through 14 do seem to be general descriptions, parallel description in Revelation 6, Matthew 24, 6 and 7, there will be wars and rumors of wars, for nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and in various places there will be famines and earthquakes. Now, look, Iran did this. They got hit with a 5.5. Powerful weapons in exchange that destroys a third of the Earth's population. That's why they don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. Iran said they not building it. I saw the horses in the vision, hyacinth blue and sulfur yellow, and the heads of the horses were like heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire, smoke, and brimstone. But these three plagues, a third of mankind killed fire, and the smoke and the brimstone which came out of their mouths. This is where we at. Now I want to go to Gog and Magog march against Jerusalem. And that's Russia and China. God can make our feet God's people. They are primarily mentioned in Ezekiel chapters 38 and 39, Revelations chapter 20. In Ezekiel, God is the leader from the land of Magog who leads a vast army against Israel in the later days. Four corners of the earth who gathered to battle against God and his people at the end of the millennium, and Satan is released from his prison. Gog, a leader from Magog out of the north, destroy. Oh, I want them to tell you who was. And while y'all sitting up here worried about what I'm doing, you need to worry about what you gonna do to prepare if the thing go down. That's what you need to be worried about. For real. Mm. Russia and China. Anyway, so let's get into the rest of it. So that's what I wanted to say. Oh no, I gotta reserve. Hold on. Mm, mm, mm. They already on Friday. Then we had some Muslim folk from Michigan, which is one of the highest populations of Islam. I'm not starting this over. That has a large Arab population. And this is what they said. They got young and old ready to go. They not gonna keep letting the United States mess with their people. This American empire are willing to put their lives on the line to bring these Western empires down, young and old. This out of Dearborn, Michigan. That's out of Dearborn, Michigan. They ready to go. Sleeper cells here. They ready to go. As the Israeli-Iran conflict intensifies and fears of a broader war is on the rise, Russian President Vladimir Putin has voiced serious concern over the possibility of World War III. When asked whether the world was inching toward World War III, the Russian leader didn't miss a word. It is disturbing. I am speaking without any irony, without any jokes, reported Russia. The International Economic Forum on Friday when he announced current global trajectory was deeply troubling. Follow Iran Israel war live updates. Of course, there's a lot of conflict potential. It is growing and it's right under our noses and it affects us directly. And this requires, of course, not only our careful attention to the events taking place, but also the search for solutions, preferably by peaceful means, he said. Putin's remarks came amid mounting fears of nuclear disaster in the Middle East, particularly in light of Israel's ongoing military campaign against Iran. The conflict, which began on June 13th after a surprise Israeli offensive, has seen brutal repeated strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities, military infrastructure, and top scientists. Israel Netanyahu vows to end Iran's nuclear ambitions. Netanyahu has vowed to continue the assault. We will fight as long as necessary to destroy Iran's nuclear program, he declared, calling Tehran ambitious as existentially dangerous. While Iran insists its nuclear program is strictly peaceful, its enforcement of enrichment of uranium up to 60% just below weapons grade has raised alarm across the West and especially in Israel. International Atomic Energy Director countries of the region have reached out directly to me over the past few hours to express their concerns. And I want to make it absolutely and completely clear in case of attack on the Bashir nuclear program plant, a direct hit will result in a very high release of radioactivity. Ooh-wee. The stakes are high for Russia too. I hate StreamYard. The stakes are high for Russia too. Says his country is preventing World War III. Hey, Money Loke, how you doing? You still ain't never called me. I just got back from Oklahoma City. I'm moving there, so I'm in that. So y'all room side and he defended Israel attack on Iran's prevent World War II, but protect itself by destroying Iran's weapons program. When asked if he thought Israel's attack on Iran are bringing the world closer to a third world war, Simon said, "We are preventing a World War III." No, you're not. It's biblical. This scripture, both in the Quran and both in the Bible. This scripture. If we do not eliminate the nuclear program, it will eliminate us. In recent months, Simon said Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs accelerated to an unimaginable degree. He said Iran has enriched uranium to 60%, U-235, a level close to weapons grade, enough for 9 nuclear bombs. Wow. It was producing ballistic missiles to carry bombs at a rate of 3. According to Simon, Iran is the only UN member country that has repeatedly threatened to eliminate another country. He recalled that Iran has fired 400 rockets and drones into Israel unprovoked over the last year to prove that it means what it says. I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all. He said, I say to the people of Iran, our fight is not with you. We have the utmost respect for the people and we sympathize with their suffering. But he blamed suffering on a brutal regime that has harmed He hopes the outcome will be returned to friendly, cordial relations. Until 1979, the two countries had a peaceful, even friendship. I like run that country. You hitting certain sites that's gonna hurt the people there. You think? Well, yeah, I guess so. Because you right, Money Low, because they hit certain sites, certain facilities. You're right about that. Then the Pope came out, the Church of Satan. He came out and he said, "I would like to renew this appeal for peace to see at all hostilities of weapons and through diplomatic instruments dialogue." The Pope said, "I hate StreamYard." So Simon said the suffering in Gaza will end the moment Hamas ceases to exist as a military and governing force in Gaza. The moment that happens and our hostages return, that is when there will be no need for Israel continued military presence in Gaza. We want peace too. Y'all have destroyed Gaza, and them people not gonna leave their land. That's the truth. So now we got Team Trump may be on the verge of understanding that the U.S., NATO, and their Pacific allies are being engulfed into a growing global war being waged by Russia and China. Oh no, this is getting on my nerves. For 46 years, Tehran has been waging its own war against the U.S. and its allies directly and indirectly. Until the referendum was blocked, Putin had made an unserious play between the U.S. and Iran over their nuclear program. Can you imagine Putin mediating a meeting? Team Moscow was not pleased, and Israel and said Israel has to stop targeting Tehran's nuclear sites, arguing the ongoing bombardment could lead to global nuclear weapons faced with a geostrategic set its resorts to nuclear bluster and fear mongering. Mm. Nah, Putin ain't no hoe now. Earth is heated at the White House. Waves of Iranian ballistic barges are rapidly approaching Israel's supply of missiles. So now we're gonna get them some more weapons. You know Trump is he is. Iran has launched more than 400 missiles and more than 1,000 drones at Israel. Civilian casualties are mounting with 24 killed in Israel, more than 500 wounded. Mm. The Pentagon has been assembling a vast array of offensive weapons and capabilities in the region, and Trump he done sent troops to all our bases in the Middle East. Fighters and air tanks have been repositioned to Europe and the Middle East over the last several months. I told y'all. U.S. Juror Ford and U.S. Smith are streaming toward the Middle East to join the Israeli forces. When they arrive, the U.S. will have three powerful carrier groups to take the fight to Iran and defend against any possible President Jinping that red lines will be enforced. Oh, see how this thing can turn out? Right, Mommy. Iran is like, what up, though? Right. Team Trump has largely gone silent and gave them 2 weeks, and Iran said they ain't bending orders. And you gotta respect that. To me, you gotta respect that. You ain't supposed to bend nobody. You supposed to stay 10 toes down, right? Iran likely knows what some Team Trump has learned outside the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth refused to divulge to the Senate the exact nature of the options he was presented to the White House. Lord have mercy. But it's Congress that has to declare the war. But Lord have mercy. Radio silence is never a good thing, and Kamali poet. BG weighed in and warned that escalating hostility between Israel could spiral out of control, urging all sides to sit down and talk. Russia and China both have investments in their nuclear sites. China condemned Israel's acts of disregarding international law and international rules. This is World War III, not Hollywood's dramatic version of it, but rather war by 1,000 cuts. How close is World War III? Let's see. Let me would think some of the United States. It also has partnership with the UK. Iran has Russia and China, and we and Israel got the US. But deepening American involvement bunker with bombs to penetrate underground or offering other direct U.S. military comes with an enormous risk. It sure do. Iran has openly expressed its desire to wipe Israel off the map, and they have Palestine. Some believe we are witnessing the ancient prophecy. I know it's terrible, right? And it's not my internet. It's not my internet. It's StreamYard. Trust me. I work at home, sit up close, and I don't feel I need to do that. If I pay you close to month, they'll fix it after I do all these complaints. Mm. So now Tehran has entered. Here come Turkey. Here come Turkey. Turkey ain't no joke either. So Donald Trump has called for Tehran to surrender, but Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has rejected the proposal and warned the U.S. against joining Israeli strikes. Russia on Wednesday also asked the Washington not to get involved directly. The latest Israeli strike hits a facility used to make uranium. Lord have mercy, we close. And I don't feel, and you know what, money low to me, if I pay for something, y'all supposed to fix it on my convenience, not the other way around. Like I got to go sit where my internet box is and plug it in. I'm not doing that. I'm too old for that. Tehran also launched a small base of missiles at Israel with no reports of casualties. Iran rejected U.S. calls to surrender. Damn. They have military assistance to Israel or even considering speculative options. Israel launched 6 air. Turkey president said that Iran had legitimate to defend itself in the face of Israel's ongoing bombing campaign, now in its sixth day. Then Putin came out and said, warns London will be bombed first if World War III breaks out. So he said he bombing London first. Speaking on TV, Andrew Balamali, who on Moscow Defense Committee describes how a possible full-scale invasion of NATO state members will work. Everybody gonna be fighting. Everybody. He said Russia will destroy the entire group of the enemy space satellites during the first air operation. No one would care if they are American or British. We would see them all as NATO. Ooh. Second, will mitigate the entire system and missile defense. I'm so sick of this shit. Just destroy it. And 100% we certainly won't start. We'll start with Paris, Berlin, and London. The first will be London. He said Western Europe would be cut off from power supplies and will be ultimately destroyed. In the third stage, I shall see what the USA will tell Western Europe on continuing their fight in the cold without food and electricity. I wonder how they, the US, will manage to stay aside. Wow. I said, but see, till the Western Europe on continuing their fight food and electricity. I wonder how they, the US, will manage. Wow. Damn. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not even going to talk about this. I'm just going to delete this. Well, they have said that World War III was 2019. Elimination. All right, I'm gonna end this now. I'm about to come up. I hope this video come out all right, but this has really pissed me off.